Welcome to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax. Except you, that person driving. Sit up and keep your eyes on the road. Your ears, though, can still listen as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm Rob. It's a draft month.
It's a draft month, all right. And yes, today, guys, we have for you guys the edge rushers of this year's draft. Very important position because I know a lot of people will go, you don't have a wide receiver one. Who's our corner number two? Well, who's our third edge rusher? Who's the backups at this position? Because we got Ojulari, we got Kayvon, you got Ward, but Ojulari couldn't stay on the field this year.
Nope.
And everybody else besides those three ain't worth a damn thing. Let's be honest.
Nope.
So this is a pretty important position, guys. So we're going to give you that rundown there. We might have a certain discussion to have about a certain record-breaking contract today as well, too. I know Giant fans are kind of laughing their way about this one here because this one's pretty good. Before we get started, though, we do have a special announcement for you guys. So the Two Giant Goofballs podcast is now officially sponsored by Manscaped. And, of course, they've given you guys a discount as a result as well. Oh, yes, as Rob's got his paper out there. So
yeah, breaking news. Look at the headlines.
Yeah, so any purchases at manscaped.com now officially through this program here, you get 20% off. Plus, you get free shipping with the promo code Goofballs. And they were kind enough to go ahead and send us out a sample of their work here. We have the Lawnmower 4.0 here. Oh, yes. It even has a flashlight, guys. It does have a flashlight. Which you'd be shocked, actually. One of the things when I looked at it, I'm like, why would there be a flashlight?
Because when you go in between your... when you go for your goofballs... let me tell you, Drew, this face doesn't look that clean right now, but... I did some spring cleaning. Let me tell you, this lawnmower got some work.
Two giant goofballs talking about footballs with two giant shave balls.
Yeah. It's fantastic because I don't know about you, Drew, but this guy here was a godsend.
Oh, yes.
The weed whacker.
Oh, yes. You know what actually was surprised how much I enjoyed actually was the boxers. They were very soft.
They were
very, very soft. It's one of those things you don't think of in that kind of package. So,
and for all you guys out there working in the field,
as Deb says, I saw this on Shark Tank. LOL. I'll pass on this one. Listen, I have heard. I'm not going to name any names. I have heard that I've talked to women who have actually used the same products as well. Keep in mind, it's for all sensitive areas. Yes, it's geared towards men, but it's for all sensitive areas.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed this top up here, but that's a skin protector.
Yes.
For your very important parts.
And my skin appreciates that, that's for sure.
Oh, yes.
So we'll be giving you guys rundowns as over the next couple weeks and so as different products and stuff that they do offer there. So let's get into the news here. And of course, we're going to start off with some Giants news.
It's time for the news. Delete, 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 delete.
So, no, not that news. Shaving the balls news. So, today was officially the first day of voluntary workouts. You'll see the Giants posted all kinds of pictures of them working out in the weight room and all, looking a lot more healthier than I do and making me feel bad for being such a dad bod. But Dable did address the team as well to discuss the Barkley and Dexter Lawrence absences there. Again, it's a non-story, guys. He had her do it because the elephant's in the room, so to speak, there. And, you know, it's part of the job. But I'm telling you guys, it ain't a big deal.
Yeah, it's clickbait is what it is.
Oh, yeah. So we got some rumors here as well. Oh, Giants rumors. So the rumors are flying. The Giants are locked into Minnesota center John Michael Schmitz. And I keep on hearing people say, oh, great, they're going to get him at 25. Or other people going, oh, 25 is way too early. One thing I want to keep in mind, guys, and I want you guys to do the same. We have a ton of picks. We have 10 picks, guys. the chances of us having 10 rookies on the roster next year are so slim, it's not even funny. What that means is, same as last year, where he was able to go ahead, especially in the second round. Remember, he made 2 trades to trade down to get Wan'Dale Robinson because he had the guy he wanted. He could also do the opposite and trade up in this draft and go, okay, let's trade up earlier in the second round and take the center we want. So don't believe the hype into, oh my God, we're taking a center at 25. Because I've seen some people like flipping out, like that's ridiculous. If he does that, I lose all respect for Shane. First off, if he does it, trust that he knows what he's doing.
He's a man with a plan.
And give him a chance to fall on his face before you laugh at him for it. And like I said, otherwise, that could be the plan, is just to move up in the second round. I would love personally move down in the first, move up in the second, have 2 early second round picks, because there really isn't a huge difference between the second round and the first end of the first round picks in this draft specifically.
Yeah, unless they see something that we don't and sell it out there, but.
Or if somebody drops all of a sudden it's available. There's a couple rumors we're going to get into it, a little bit of people dropping here. So the Giants are also set to meet with Old Dominion cornerback Trey Hawkins. So we have another meeting here with another draft prospect here. They also met today with Joey Porter Jr. as well. So we talked about him before this the CB preview episode we did. Matt Lombardo also reporting that the Giants are interested in East Carolina tight end Ryan Jones. So we talked about this before. They very well could look at one of the late round picks at tight end to get, I'm thinking maybe a blocking tight end, but it's definitely a possibility that they need a third tight end because they got a receiving tight end, they have a hybrid, and they have another receiving tight end. They don't have a pure blocker. Most teams like to have that kind of role taken up. Last bit of news here, which my BS meter was going like crazy on when I saw this one. Bleacher Report proposed a draft day deal to get Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, once again,
guys, that's not happening. Not happening.
So, and that's not from that organization that proposed.
Yes. So, AKA, it was a slow news day.
Yeah.
They wanted to make some BS up to sell some clicks. So, yeah, guys.
I might go out and buy a golden toilet tonight.
You know what? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be an awesome, right? Because
would it be yellow gold, rose gold, or white gold? Because if it's yellow gold, it might be hard to clean.
Oh, you know what? I didn't think about that part.
Yes, because then the
rose gold's like really where it's hard, but the yellow gold's what really sparkles.
Yes, it does.
Nice 14 karat.
All righty, guys. On to the NFL news around the league. Oh, yes. And the big news today, Jalen Hurts signs an extension for 5 years, $255 million. Officially the largest contract per year ever signed in the NFL. Do the math there. That is $51 million a year for 5 years. And Eagle fans are rejoicing because they're saying, oh my God, look at the numbers, because some of the numbers were released. Not all of the numbers were released. So in 23, this year, he's going to make $6.15 million. Next year, $13.56 million. The following year, $21.77 million. 26, $31.77 million. Guys, what does that tell you? There's a shnikey load of void deals, hidden money, things being moved around. So, yeah, don't believe everything you read as far as that being genius, because eventually you got to pay the piper.
I was going to say,
yep,
Grim Reaper comes for them all.
Now, for those of you that are, because this is obviously a potential, I know you are one there, Rob, not to call you out on it here. For those of you that are Mets fans, you might know a certain holiday, Bobby Bonilla Day.
Oh, we just passed it.
Yes. The Eagles may very well, and I have to see how the rest of this contract works out there, because it doesn't take much to go, wait a minute, that's 4 years, $70 million. We're still missing a good chunk of change here. This very well could be the Bobby Bonilla Day coming for the Philadelphia Eagles based on how this contract is written out. unless there's a lot of Fugazi money and this whole thing is not nearly as big as they're trying to make it seem. So we'll keep you guys updated as this comes out. One of the things that really had me laughing, though, absolutely hysterically today, is someone posted this, and I don't even know who this person is. They replied to SportsCenter when they had announced this. Someone by the name of Wade Alexandra, at Twitter handle, I'll give them the credits, they're the one who said it, at Sir Charles CAZ. And their reply went viral because it was absolutely amazing and absolutely true. They said, Hurts is amazing. He carried a team with only 2-star receivers, only 1-star tight end, only one best O-line in the NFL, only one DL that had the 3rd most sacks in a season ever, only 2-star CBs, and a roster that only had 2 coordinators move on to head coaching jobs. Truly remarkable. Eagle fans, I'm telling you, I think they're about to have what I'm dubbing, and this is my own term here, let's see if it catches on, Mark Sanchez disease. Remember when Mark Sanchez first got in the league for a couple of years? He did really, really good. Jet fans got all excited.
He did really okay.
But I'm saying the team did very good, I should specify.
Yes.
But what happened the second they started taking away, like Thomas Jones, some of his wide receivers, his O-line?
His head coach got a tattoo to show how much he believed in this guy. That's what happened.
Yeah, because remember, 2 years ago, he was being compared to Daniel Jones, Jalen Hurts. They were basically neck and neck as just as good. And now, all of a sudden, he gets a star receiver, gets all these things, and, you know, his defense has the best year it's ever had. Like I said, guys, I'm not buying the hype on Jalen Hurts still. I'm really not. And I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. I just think he's not as good as some people think because he's got all the talent in the world around him. And correct. I will continue to say, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not good. Be careful with my wording. What I am saying is I want to see him without the talent around him. I want to see him do it by himself.
I also want, you have to give where credit is due. He did put in the work in this past offseason. Mm-hmm. He did look a lot better in preseason than he did in real games.
Did he look a lot better thanks to Manscaped?
Oh, he did. He is not accurate at that. But he's putting in the work. But once again, star tight end, 2-star receivers.
So I'm saying, that team is stacked.
So it is easy to make a good quarterback look great.
It really is, and I want to see. I want to see, like I said, what he does with less talent around him. As Connor comes in with, "Buzz your face. Was your head already bald? Manscaped the balls too." LOL. But yeah, like I said, we'll see how that plays out. Like I said, I want to see the rest of this contract. So as soon as I hear that stuff, we'll give you guys the update as far as what's going on there, because there's got to be some money being moved around. There's got to be. Also in draft news here, Alabama QB Bryce Young has canceled all the rest of his draft visits. And there's a lot of buzz about
that just sounded nuts.
They're taking him. No, yes, not that kind of buzz, not the man buzz. There's been a lot of buzz though about him potentially going to the Panthers #1 overall. And it seems like a foregone conclusion to some writers. I'm going to say this. What I think is really, really stupid is saying that unless somebody has told them that specifically from within the Panthers organization, because he also visited with the Texans. And how do we not know that the Texans told him point blank, like, listen, we're not going to let you pass us. Like, you're going to be, if you come to us, we're going to take you #2. Like, we don't know these conversations.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and that's not out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah. Let me just put it this way. His visit in the green room is going to be about as short as he is. He's intended.
I see what you did there.
We'll talk about him more. We do our QB special. We do, even though I know obviously we're not going to draft a QB like that. At least we're going to draft probably a backup later on. But we're going to still give you guys later on this week the rundown of the QBs, so that we have a little water cooler talk here. Connor comes in with, guess Roberto just bust below. LOL.
I'm ready for bikini season.
Oh, yes, he is. He's got a Speedo ready to go.
Yeah.
So in draft buzz here, there's the rumor that Quentin Johnston is not going to be going to the draft, and it's because he's dropping on boards. And there's the concern of him going into a Geno Smith kind of scenario. We all remember Geno. Poor Geno. Listen, you can't have not felt bad for Geno that draft. Like having to show up on day 2, still sit in the green room and wait to have your number called like that. I'll give him some credit because that took some balls to do it. That took some shape balls to do it. But it's like it was sad. It was sad to see him do that. I've heard anything from where he could drop to the very end of the first round to he could even potentially now be in a second round. That's how bad he's dropping down boards. And I don't know why. Nothing to the best of my knowledge has changed in the last couple of weeks. But for whatever reason, he's dropping. And Giant fans, remember, we talked about this during our preview. This is a boom or bust pick. Something is probably telling people there's a good chance of that bust. Besides the school he goes to, because TCU does not have a good record of wide receivers. They have a really bad record, actually. So, like I said, we'll keep you guys posted on that and let you guys know. The last bit of NFL news here we got, the Vikings are reportedly considering cutting Dalvin Cook by the draft. So, remember this, guys. We talked about Saquon Barkley. This is why you don't pay running backs. That's why you don't do it. Someone's trying to get into Rob's room. Someone's trying to get in. Are you being burglared? Are you being burgled? Oh, yeah. Are you being burgled? All righty. So, guys, on to the edge rushers here. So we got 20 different names here for you guys. And we got some very interesting, because this is an interesting group of edge rushers, I think, overall. There's, as usual, there's a couple of big names. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think the big names are the big thing, except for the number one. Number one is he's going to be a freaking stud in the league. But I don't think the big names are really that big of a deal. I think the depth at the position is the big deal. Because there's a couple of guys that are going in the first round that I'm looking at the tape going, I'm not so sold on these guys.
I think there's a lot of value when you're talking about the top 10, at the bottom top 10, where you can get them in the draft and what it's going to cost you of these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Scouted. So these are guys you can pick up, second, third round, and still get a lot of good use.
So let's start off, of course, with number 20. And Rob, would you like to do the honors? Would you like me to go first? It's your call, dealer's choice.
Oh, roll the dice. Jemiah Martin, Washington. He's 6 foot.
Hold Jemiah?
Yeah. Martin.
Jeremiah. He's not selling pancakes.
Yes. I told you I was going to butcher the name. I had to get the easy one out of the way.
I noticed this. So Jeremiah Martin out of Washington.
Correct. 6'4", 240 pounds. Guy also played at Texas A&M. Wow, I could speak very well today.
Does he also enjoy M&Ms?
Oh, he does, and he also likes his pancakes.
Now, the big thing is, the big question that I need to make sure that people are aware of, it's really a statement, not a question, is that Jeremiah was a bullfrog. He was a good friend of mine.
Was he really now? But, yeah, no, he's strong, versatile. He's not the super athletic guy in this draft. His production kind of halted this year. He only had 8.5 sacks.
Well, no, that's reverse. He had no production till this year.
Oh, gotcha.
He had 1 sack in his entire career leading up to this season, and then all of a sudden 8.5 this year. So something clicked, or they started using him differently. So I didn't go back to the Texas A&M tape, so I can't give you guys that because, quite frankly, number 20, I can't spend that much time on.
No.
But one of the two happened, but I'll say he's a strong bull rusher. This is the guy that's going to just win with pure power. He doesn't have the speed moves because, quite frankly, he doesn't have the athleticism to do that.
No, but he makes it up with hand use. He's very good with his hands. He's very technical, and he's violent with this bad boy.
He's versatile too. He moves around. I've seen him at edge. I've seen him move onto the line itself. It's oh my God, Connor. Connor says, I only have 1 sack. My ex took the other one. The big question is, Connor, is
how did you have 2?
Was Well, that's a good question. I should even think of that question. That was just asked. The big question is, does he already have a razor for said sex?
Yeah.
The lawnmower 4.0.
Keep that bad boy ready for the summer.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I think he's going to be best in a 4-3 because of what style he plays. He's not the speed rusher, so I don't think he's the guy for us necessarily, unless we want to use him in specific packages. I think he's going to end up going like the 4th round.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
All right. On to number 19. This is going to be a very, very interesting one. There's a story here about a man named Brady. No. Brenton Cox Jr. out of Florida. Here's the interesting part. He was kicked off the team in October. Kicked off the team. This is the people that let Aaron Hernandez go through, no problem. And he got kicked off the team. What does that tell you, folks? What does that tell you? Yes, it means might have some personality issues. So the team wouldn't say why. When the coach, Billy Napier, the head coach of the Florida Gators, there was asked, he said, sometimes you have to make decisions in the best interest of the team. We decided to move on. Cumulative effect. This wasn't one mistake. This was multiple instances, and he was productive. So it's not like this was like a scrub doing it. He was productive, and they still said that production wasn't worth the headache of dealing with him.
Yeah, I mean, in October, there's a lot of rumors going around. Like, was he getting himself in trouble?
Rumor has it.
Like, there was something about a big party.
There's rumors of him flipping out in the locker room even after the loss to Alabama.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's all kinds of rumors, but we won't know.
Yeah,
one day it'll come out.
Yeah,
but like I said, if your school has no problem having Aaron Hernandez there for those years, well, I'm sorry, you didn't just become a murderer overnight. Something like that wasn't like click. Hey, let's shoot somebody.
I mean, he also got by the NFL for quite some time too. So that's
yeah. Oh yeah, because the Patriots never hide issues.
Oh, never. What are you talking about?
So that tells me all I need to know right there. Hence why he's number 19 on this list. But let's go over still the production, because the production wasn't horrible. The guy's got 100% prototype size there. He's strong. He is somebody who, like I said, really did show up on tape there when you did watch it. He has no problem playing the run is the big thing as well. Really great against the run. I literally saw plays where he was like on an island by himself, basically. And he took the hit from the running back and did everything he could to force him down. This wasn't the guy that like tackles from the side to avoid some of the damage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like this was the guy who point blank went, I'm going to take this hit. I don't care what happens. And
goes for the head-on collision.
And that's one of the things he said. I want to give his side to a certain degree on this as well, because he said that he's very competitive, and that's the problem. And that's what I'm saying about the locker room issues. That was the rumor there. So real quick, as I mentioned the size of him, Sarah, he's 6'3", 252 pounds. So yeah, perfect size. Here's the issue with him though. An edge rusher who lacks a bit of pass rush. That's an issue. So it's like Jihad Ward in that respect, where he's good at setting the edge. He's good at stopping the run. He's going to give you something in the pass rush, but he's not going to be the guy that you're ever going to count on to be one of your main pass rushers. He's not going to be the guy that's ever going to come close to sniffing double-digit sacks. So, but still, stopping the run is still something that counts in the NFL. It's still an important skill, especially when you see more and more mobile quarterbacks. So, yeah, like I said, he's got a spot in this league. He'll probably go in round 3 or 4. I wouldn't take him personally. He'd be off my board entirely because of the Florida issues. But someone's going to take him. And as much as I put him at 19, he's going to go sooner probably than some of the guys we're about to mention.
Probably Vegas.
I say Las Vegas will take him. Dallas will take him. Somebody like that will take him. The ones that don't care necessarily about the personal issue with some of these players that have that kind of track record. So, So that should be interesting to see what happens with him on day 2, day 3, and where he ends up going. All righty, number 18,
Jacoby Willing from Auburn. This man is a junior. What?
Did you say Jacoby?
What?
Colby.
Yeah. I said Colby.
Oh, I thought you said Jacoby. I'm like, who's Jacoby?
Colby Williams.
I'm like, looking at my list. I'm like, what's going on here?
Anyway, this guy's extremely competitive. He's got a great work ethic. Unlike some of the other two guys we talked about, one of the other guys.
Yeah.
He's got snap quickness. He actively creates opportunities with interior rushers. Lays in the blocks with explosive forward charges as a bull rusher. He also kind of needs to work on his pursuit a little bit. Like a lot of times he gets beat, if you will. He's inconsistent with some of his plays.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it's also he's a hard to move guy, and he also works a little slow.
That's the big thing. That's the big thing. Yeah. That's the big issue, and why he's so far down this list.
And
he may very well go to an end.
Yeah, because this NFL these days, you need to be fast. It's not about these like 400.
Think fast, be fast. Think fast, be fast. Think fast, be fast. But yeah, I'm telling you, I could see he's probably going to get drafted as an edge, but I think someone's going to moving him because of the lack of speed to a 3-4 defensive end, where I think he's actually probably better suited. We only have him on the list because, again, he's probably going to be drafted as edge and then get moved over to that position later on. There was a couple of guys that was like, we're looking at it, we're going they can go either group depending on, because they're kind of tweeners, not quite perfect size for defensive end, not quite, the 3-4, not quite perfect size for an edge rusher. This was definitely one of those guys that was kind of like, where does he go?
Yeah.
But like I think someone's gonna get him as there. I think the big thing is his technique was just inconsistent. His pad level's too high, but his power, his length, these are things you can't teach.
No, this is he's an ox.
He's a big dude. He's an ox moose.
Yeah, you're an ox moose.
One of these days, somebody else went to Raritan's gonna like, Coach Ski, they're talking about you on the Goofball podcast. Alrighty. So yeah, I think round 4 for him. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'll be surprised if he goes, in the 3rd round. But I should say surprised. I wouldn't be that surprised, but I see a 4th round.
So nothing surprises me in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
We listen. The Cole Strange, who last year most of us had a 3-4 kind of grade on, got picked in the 1st round overall by the Patriots. Sean McVay was laughing at Bill Belichick. You never know what's going to happen in this draft. You never do. No. That's part of the fun of it. Is that you can make your mock draft boards, you can get everything rolling. Whatever you think is going to happen, it's not going to happen.
Nope.
So all you can do is focus on knowing the individual players, knowing what their strengths and weaknesses are, and kind of go from there so you have an idea of who these guys are going to be in the NFL.
Being an amateur scout.
Alrighty, so number 17, one of the other more interesting names in this group, Nick Hampton out of Appalachian State. So he's 6'3", 210 pounds. Remember when that used to be a safety?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? 210 pounds. He's going to be an edge rusher. Oh, my gosh.
I got his weight from NFL saying that it was 236. So maybe he beefed up a little bit.
Beefcake. Hopefully. That's what I got. I got 210 here. I can double check here in my notes. But, yeah, that is just insanity. I mean, like I said, it's one of those things where I'm old school, I guess, but yeah, I'm showing here on the Draft Network, 210 pounds. But let's get into the pros, because it's not negative. I don't want to make it seem negative per se. It's just the difference in the game from what we grew up with when we were young lads. When I was a young warthog.
All these NFL players had big guts.
So he's explosive off his stance, great length, very quick. One of the big things, he's got a high IQ. He's patient in space. And what I mean by that is you'll watch a lot of tape on some guys, especially when they're newer into this, that what'll happen is they see a gap and they just run right through it. He's different. he sees the gap and he got to stop for a second saying, why is that gap there? What's going on in the offense? Because sometimes the offense opens up gaps in the right spot, hoping that the rushers go through because the plays go in the opposite direction. And now it's impossible for them to get to him. So he has that patience to wait and see what's going on. And if he sees it being a pass, that's when he goes for it. If he sees it being a run, he sits back, waits, finds out what's going on. The biggest knock on him really is the fact that he comes from a very, very small school.
Well, that and his frame. Like, is he maxed out on his size?
Yeah. Like, and he did get washed out a few times by some of the bigger blockers, that's for sure. Now, one thing I paid attention to very specifically was I looked at the two biggest games that he had, which was Texas A&M and North Carolina as far as bigger schools. So I think he showed up pretty well, though. And that's, again, Texas A&M, North Carolina. That's not Alabama. That's not Georgia. I'm not trying to make it seem like he played the best of the best of the best, sir. But quote Men in Black there. But best of the best of the best, sir. He's all excited. There's no ice here. But like I said, it's still good quality opponents he was facing with other NFL players on their rosters there. So like I said, it's the best we could watch, and he didn't really hide from that kind of challenge there. But he's very raw overall, and part of this because he played that kind of school. I also think he's going to go in the 4th round. I do think that he's going to be one of those boomer bust kind of picks, which is weird to say the 4th round. But I think he's someone you're going to say he was a steal, or he couldn't hack it at all with the big boys. I don't think there's going to be an in between. Literally, I really don't.
I mean, if this guy had probably even 20 more pounds, he'd probably be taken in the 3rd round. But because of that, he's probably gonna be a 4th round guy, and it stinks because you can't coach up your size.
Nope, cannot coach up the size.
Especially because that's what a lot of people are saying. That, like, possibly is like, is his size maxed out? Like, can he pack on that weight without sacrificing health?
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, very raw, but I think he's for that kind of pick, it's worth taking the shot and seeing what becomes of him there, because a 4th round is a guy, a lot of times these are bust players as it is. So if you have the chance for somebody you think is a high upside that you can get in the 4th round like that at a premium position, it's worth taking the shot. All righty. Number 16.
The hardest name on the list, Zach Harrison, Ohio State.
It's Harrison?
Harrison?
No, I'm kidding.
Harrison. So this guy, not Mighty Mouse, 6'6", 272 pounds. Dude's
he's a big boy.
Yep. Dude's got
I say that, but he's got I had 10 pounds on me and I'm his size.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just so used to looking at the small receivers that were like 5'8", 160 pounds in this draft, and I'm like, oh my god.
Well, I mean, his build's a little different than yours. No offense.
How do you know? He's wearing padding. You don't know.
Touche. But obviously, with that size comes great length. He's super athletic.
With great size comes great length.
Yeah.
And when you have great length, Manscaped.
Makes it look even bigger.
Yes, it does.
He plays tight. He also plays a little inconsistent at times.
Yeah.
So that's one of his issues when it comes to.
He reminds me of now I'm drawing a blank. What's his name that we got? The edge rush we had a couple of years ago as a 3rd round draft pick that went to the Falcons, just re-signed up. We talked about him as being a free agent this year.
That's going to bother me.
It's going to bother the hell out of me too. It's going to bother the hell out of me.
But I mean, this guy also, he's an attacker for the ball. Like he goes for the chop hand motion, try to get some strip sacks.
I'm still looking this up because it's bothering me. I know I'm going to see it. I'm like, oh my god, that was stupid. How did I forget that name there? It's coming up here. Lorenzo Carter. There we go. Lorenzo Carter. Because here's why I'm saying this. This kid was a can't-miss 5-star prospect coming out of high school. 5-star. That's like you're supposed to be like they're doing a parade when you sign with the school. He did nothing. He did nothing.
Sometimes you're a big fish in a small pond, and once you go into the ocean, you're nothing but lunch.
And sometimes when you are a man, you must wear the stretchy pants, as Nacho Libre would say. But I don't like the guys who come out of high school as a top prospect, go into college, and don't do jack. I just don't trust it. And I think the problem is he, like I said, he's strong, he's versatile, he plays over the field, he's got the physical skills. And I think somebody in the NFL is going to fall in love with this kid for that reason. And I think he's going to be a guy that someone's going to go, oh, let's use a mid-round pick on this guy. We could be coaching. We could fix this. Sometimes you just can't fix it, guys.
I mean,
even as we talk about Carter, he looked good at stretches, but I wouldn't say Carter was a great player. Same kind of scenario. He was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, went to Georgia, did nothing. We drafted him in the 3rd round.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably where this guy's going to go, too.
And that's what I think. He shouldn't. He shouldn't. Yeah. His tape was 5th round all day long.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
I'll say 4th round.
Yeah.
I'll say 4th round. But he, like I said, he's somebody that he will go in the 3rd round. And whoever gets him will probably end up getting somebody who's a rotational piece. Because he's still got a place in the NFL. I'm not trying to say he's a bum that he got washed out in no time. He wouldn't be on this list if that was the case. It's disappointing to see somebody talked about the way he is, about, oh, this guy's a 5-star recruit in high school and blah, 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 blah. And then you watch the tape and you're like, was his high school tape better? Like, what's...
Yeah, I mean, he also could have been just a big kid in high school that was just dominating the smaller guys.
I think you mean sizably challenged, not big.
Oh, sorry, everyone out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, everyone there. It's 5'7" out there.
Wow. Like I said, we'll see what happens there, but that's what I see. A rotational piece at best for him. Somebody will draft him in the 3rd round, and he will have a place in this league, but he'll never be probably a starter in even this league. I think that's where he's at. And if he is a starter, it's probably because of injury. All righty. Number 15. 15. Yaya Diaby out of Louisville. I took the difficult one for you, Rob. I took that one for the team. 6'3", 263 pounds. Very athletic. This is a combine kid that really showed his athleticism overall there. Versatile, plays all over the field. He's played on the inside. He's played on the outside. He can move around pretty good because he's got the prototypical size that you want for an edge rusher. Strong, high motor, sets the edge well. The one thing that I was very shocked for, as strong as he was the pass rushing star, obviously, at the at Louisville, because let's be honest, Louisville is not exactly a massive school. It's not Ohio State, Wisconsin. It's not Georgia. It's not TCU. It's not Notre Dame, USC. So he was the star of their pass defense, and he got double teamed quite often as a result. And he did have trouble with it. And there was times, to be very frank, he looked lost on the field, where you see him and he's just not. He just doesn't know what to do with himself. And that's something that I think is coachable. The question is, the double team issue, coach? Because if you're good in the NFL, you're going to get coached. You're going to get double teamed. But here's the other thing you can say as well, is because he's not going to be the guy in the NFL, he won't be double teamed. He'll probably be much more often on a one-on-one kind of scenario. I think overall, he's someone who's going to be kind of a situational pass rusher in this league to start off and then kind of see where he grows from there. He's not great against the run. As much as he sets the edge well, as far as against mobile quarterbacks and all. He didn't look great against obvious running plays and stuff like that. So I think he's a rotational pass rush piece that probably go in the 3rd, 4th round around there. But he's got upside. Yeah, he does have upside, and I think with coaching, he could grow into a potential starter in this league. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at him when he's like balls bottom, he's big at like punch pull, trying to get the ball out and just go for strips. But once again, probably rotational guy.
Like I said, that's nothing wrong with that. Listen, every single team should have probably 4 or 5 edge rushers so they can rotate in and out.
Yeah.
So when I say that, I don't make that sound like he doesn't have a place on a team, that he's just a scrub. He's just not your star.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. Alrighty. Number 14.
Andre Carter the second.
Pinky's out.
Yeah. Blinky, blinky, blink.
Pinky's out for the second. I never understood that. Why do people say the second instead of junior?
I don't know. I guess it's where you are from.
I think it's just a personal preference, to be honest. But it's like,
I guess so.
It's just it never makes sense to me. Like, I understand the 3rd and the 4th and all that kind of stuff when you got that kind of lineage in the name. Like, obviously, you're not going to be just a junior. You want to respect the fact that you're the 3rd or 4th person to have that name. But the second,
just
say you're junior.
Yeah,
we're gonna call him Junior. We're gonna call him Junior. It's his nickname now. You're just Junior. JR.
Yeah. I also would never name my kid Junior, but that's
why would you never name your kid Junior?
Because then it's like almost an obligation to have to name their kid a junior, which makes them the 3rd and start a whole line. And then what if they don't have a son or they don't have kids? Now they feel like they're obligated. Let them live their life.
I'm the only guy to pass on my last name, at least. I have no obligation whatsoever. If I do, I do. I don't, I don't. No biggie. There's plenty of Davises in this world. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's not like it's an uncommon name. If my last name was like Herkerschleimer or something like that. I don't know. I'm just making up a random name. That'd be much more weird. All right. On to Andre.
All right.
Andre 3000.
6'6.5", 256 pounds. This guy, before he started taking his beefcakes, he started as a wide receiver and a tight end in high school.
Yeah. It's quite the adjustment.
Yeah. Dude looked great. He had 15.5 sacks in 2021, but he kind of took a dip in 2022.
Big time.
Yeah, he's got some good size. Some scouts are saying he could get bigger, maybe play better that way. I don't know. He does a good job challenging blockers. He's very raw. He plays with a lot of emotions.
So raw.
So raw. But that also being said, a lot of scouts are saying this guy might be a red shirt for the first year, get him more developed.
Yeah.
Because, like, once again, he did not play this his whole life. It's something that he switched to.
Yep. You're drafting this kid purely based on potential if you do. Purely based on potential.
But, I mean, the guy might have a very high ceiling. He's very athletic. He's decently athletic, but he's plays with a lot of heart. Guys in the Army. Well,
yeah. One thing we should mention as well, because we talked about this, because we talked about him briefly during our edge review that we had. There was a rule that is getting passed that it used to be when you graduated, you had to go into the service immediately. They're past the rule now that if you get drafted into the professional leagues, that you serve when your pro time is done. So if people are wondering what's going on, this is going to be a David Robinson situation, basically. So he'll be the commercial guy, basically, for the Army and everything like that. He'll go and serve his time afterwards. So there's no concern as far as that. If some guys are wondering that, because I know that's popped up with some players before. And that's always been a shame to hear at that point. But like I said, that's what they signed up for. So it is what it is. But yeah, this guy, like I said, he's going to get that pass where he's going to be able to go ahead and play in the NFL and serve his time afterwards. So yeah, but like I said, raw. I mean, just so raw. It's insane. Like, it doesn't have any counter moves, but he's got the attitude. He's got the size. I think he's going to be a good situational pass rusher in this league here. The question is, how high is that ceiling? is there a higher ceiling because of the fact that he's so new into this position? And, it may be third down rusher is the best he gets. It may be that he shocks us all, and with some actual professional coaching, no disrespect to the Army coaches there, because that's still a military job. That's how I was raised. You don't disrespect the military, obviously. But the Army coaches are not nearly the same quality as an NFL coach.
They're not the NFL.
It's not.
There's a difference between working for the government and being a freelancer for the government.
Exactly. There's a huge difference. So, like I said, third round pick I'm seeing with him. And I think someone's going to purely see that potential of him getting double-digit sacks in 21 and going, okay, we can work with this.
Yeah. He's probably a late third round guy.
All righty. Number 13. Isaiah Foskey out of Notre Dame, a.k.a. Quasimodo. No. Ring the bell. 6'5", 260 pounds. Set the team record for all-time sacks. I want that to sink in for a second. This is Notre Dame. This is Notre Dame, guys. It's about as, hallowed a football history as there is in college football. He set the team record for most sacks all time wearing a golden dome. So that's impressive there. Consider the names that have gone through there. Great length, good variety of pass rush moves, explodes off the snap. Inconsistent against the run, though. He needs to learn to get better at that. And what I mean by that is not that he sucks against the run. This is not Yannick Ngakoue. What I'm saying is that he is inconsistent. Some places he looks good, some places he doesn't look so good. That's going to develop, I think, better with time. The only concern I have with him is I saw the tape with him against Ohio State, which we went over the tackles draft program there, that they have two guys that are very good tackles on that line. Plus, they got a pretty damn good center as well on top of that. So they have a damn good line at Ohio State. But he got wrecked by them. He got owned. And that's the one concern I have, because that is basically an NFL quality offensive line that they had for the Buckeyes this season.
Yeah.
Depending what they do, obviously, when they get to the league. But, so if you have trouble with that, am I now to assume you're going to have trouble with NFL lines in general?
That's a possibility, but he also was the guy that's the star over there, obviously. So he's the guy that's going to be double teamed. He's the guy that everyone's looking at.
Yeah.
He also had 4 blocked punts in his college career.
That's always nice.
Very nice.
To block the punt.
Yeah, block the punt, please.
Block the punt. Yeah, so I think that I think he's a good pick overall. I think he's got pretty good potential, especially from where he comes from. So I see him as a round 3 kind of guy there, and I think he's the perfect guy to put into your pass rush as like a third rusher that could eventually become a starter within your franchise. And in a pinch, even I could see we're at that point now. We're starting to get to guys that I could see in a pinch if you have a weak edge team, or if you're just trying to give the young kids a chance. We're getting to that point where, if you got the spot and you want to give Foskey the chance to start and see what he does, it's not the worst move in the world if you're a rebuilding franchise. You wouldn't do it as a star franchise, but as a rebuilding franchise, why not go for it? Why not see what he's got? Better than getting some 35-year-old washed-up guy.
You're not wrong.
Call it what it is. But if you need a 40-year-old washed-up guy, you let me know. I'll suit up in a heartbeat.
Same here. 37. Let's go.
Let's go. Oh, no. Listen, which way's the beach?
Yeah.
It's both ways because I'm on a peninsula. All righty.
Sure you went west-east?
I did, actually. That's the scary part. I have a very good internal compass. That is east. That is west. So I got Bay that way, Gulf of Mexico that way. Oh, yeah. Which is weird because as I'm doing that, it's the mirror of the thing, obviously. So it's like, this is my right hand. This is my left hand.
Nice.
I know. It's weird. One day I'll get used to these videos.
One day.
All righty. Number 12.
Keon White, Georgia Tech.
Yellow jacket.
He's a yellow jacket. Not to be confused with a Bumby.
As long as it's not a white jacket after Labor Day.
Touche. That's just a no-no. 6'4", 267 pounds. He also was a tight end in high school.
What's with these tight ends becoming edge rushers? That's a little weird to me, I think. But oh well.
I don't know. If you're a big tight end, I mean, you're athletic usually in that spot. So
maybe they just didn't have the hands for it.
I was going to say maybe they couldn't catch.
Couldn't hack it as a tight end, so I became an edge rusher. Honestly, you make more money as an edge rusher in the league. Yeah. And there's more edge rushers than there are tight ends. So honestly, for a career move, it's a good move.
Yeah, hands down.
Real quick, I do have a question here real quick from Brad Pond. Welcome, Brad. He asked, what day is the NFL draft? So, Brad, not this week. Next week. Thursday's round 1. You got Friday is round 2 and 3. You got Saturday is 4, 5, 6, 7. And everybody will be live for the first 2 days as well, just to remind you guys. Thursday and Friday with guests on, all kinds of special appearances. Maybe we're going to something else as well for you guys. We're going to be on Saturday afterwards. We're probably going to do more of a review at that point up there, because let's be honest, we're going to start talking about people that may never even make it in this league at that point. We're not going to BS you guys and act like we're experts in the guy who's picked seventh round at that point. We'll do a little research, then pop on for anybody we get really late in the draft like that. But yeah, like I said, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, next week, not this week. All right, sorry, go ahead.
All right. So going back on White, he's said to be a great teammate and a great leader in the locker room. So that's always something you want to hear, especially when you're looking to draft someone. You want someone with that kind of personality. He's also explosive, great with the pass rush, and he's continued to grow through his college career, and there's a high ceiling for that.
Yeah.
He showed up in special teams a few times. With that being said, he's also not the best against the run, which is something we need.
Yeah.
It's a better run block.
And also the same we talked about before with the talent issue. He played against better talent. He had issues. And he's also 24 years old. This is one of those guys that super seniors had 5-6 years in college, and he's now like the age that some of these guys are like in their second, third year in the league.
Yeah,
it's a concern, because it makes you wonder with these guys, how much room for growth is there? You're already 24. Are you going to reach your peak at 30?
I mean, you might see more of this. You might see the ceiling raise really fast compared to some of the other guys, because now they got the mindset to possibly get better that much faster before they start to decline.
Yeah.
But we'll find out. It's not like we've ever had a draft where we're drafting 24-year-olds constantly.
Yeah, like I said, he's got the tools. It's just that's my only concern when I hear these guys, because you see some people coming out 20, 21, 22. He's 24. 2-3 years in the NFL. That's a big difference. A lot of 24-year-olds are already out of the NFL at that point.
Yeah.
We talked about it before. The average NFL guy has 3 years in the league.
Yeah, I mean, once again, they got drafted at 21. So yeah, at 24, they're on their way out.
Exactly. Which is kind of scary. Imagine being retired at 24. Kind of sounds nice too. Sounds nice too.
I wish you did that, right?
Seriously.
Even at 34.
Oh yeah. Hopefully by 64.
Yeah.
Come on, Manscaped, help us out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think a third round is where it's going to be for this guy. And it's funny because there's a huge range. So when I say third round, that's what I think is going to happen. But I've seen a huge range for this guy. I've seen him. Some people have him like a 4th, 5th round guy. I've had some people think he's going to sneak into the 2nd round. I've seen a range on him.
I mean, there's quite a few scouts out there talk about how this guy does have a high ceiling, even though he's 24.
Yeah, but when I see a huge range, though, that tells me that it just takes one of 32 teams to like him to go earlier on. That's why I'm saying third round. So
yeah,
we shall see. That's going to be a fun one to see where he ends up there.
Mid third,
early
third. I would go.
I would say probably early to mid third.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. All righty. On to number 11. Byron Young out of Tennessee. 6'3", 243 pounds. Very athletic, great bend, low pad level. So this is a guy who's got the technique. He's got the the frame and the body that you want for this kind of position. He's got the moves like Jagger.
Probably moves a little better than Jagger.
Yeah.
He's also a third of his age.
Literally, because he's older. Yeah, because he is also another older guy, 25 years old. 25. Yeah. Imagine that. So if he gets drafted and like the second, third round, like I'm thinking, he's going to be 29 years old when he becomes a free agent for the first time in his career. Like, God damn.
Yeah.
Oh my God. High motor. He just needs to gain more moves. He's also not very strong. He's not the big, strong kind of edge rusher. So he also needs to get a little better in open field tackling. But this kid's going to be a starter of this league. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a great first step quickness to it. Like he fires out of that stance.
Yeah. This is the very first of the names that I'm going to tell you guys point blank will be a starter in this league. No doubt. Now, how good he gets when he gets the job, we'll find out.
Yeah.
But I think this is the guy this is the first name that you start drafting because you need an edge rusher to start. And like I said, Byron Young, I think he's going to do pretty good. I just don't know how high the ceiling is going to be for him overall because of the age and because he may very well peak physically for all we know.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing on Scout Report. They're saying, like, super muscular up top, but he's lacking some of that mass in the bottom half.
Oh, my gosh. I'm looking here at the list, by the way, Rob. There is one name that you're going to have a lot of trouble with.
It's going to be so much fun.
And he is coming up for you. There's two names that I was worried about giving you. the one that's really going to be difficult for you, it's coming up here soon. So let's get on to number 10 because that's going to be a nice simple one here for you. Number 10.
These numbers always get me messed up. Will McDonald IV, Ohio State.
Iowa State.
Yeah. See? Look at that.
You said Ohio.
I did say Ohio.
You have 100%. Insulted all of the people of the great state of Iowa.
I apologize, Iowa.
They're going to throw things of corn at you. They're going to throw things of corn at you.
My man's 24 years old, 6'4".
Another one. This is like that string of like.
We're in the middle of the pack of the middle-aged football players here.
Yeah, seriously. Like they get their AARP card at the podium.
Yeah. He's also not a big guy as well. 239 pounds.
Yeah. He is 6'4", at least. He's got a little bit of height on him.
Yeah, so maybe he packs on some of that size. Dude's athletic. He's got great bend, high motor. But he also needs to gain more in the pass rush. And, his moves are not like Jagger. Well, actually, maybe they are like Jagger because he's not moving as well as he could be. He wasn't used often to attack the QB, though.
Yeah.
So
and that's why he's probably the most raw of these top 10 that we're going to have here because Iowa State has a different system than a lot of quarterbacks do. You have like basically like a whole mixture over there of players. They rotate all around all over the place. So he may not have had quite the same production as a pass rusher that some of the names we're going to talk about here today have, but he's got one of the best efficiency rates. In other words, he did the most with the snaps he got with those opportunities. So, yeah, he's going to be an interesting guy. I really think that he's going to do very well, and I think Iowa State just didn't use him right, point blank. I really think that. But
which could be.
Here's an interesting thought that I read somebody else put up, and I wish I remember who so I could give them the credit for because it wasn't me. But they said draft players from Iowa State because if you're going to Iowa State to play football, you love football. You didn't go there for the sun. You didn't go there for the big city. You went there to play some goddamn football
and corn
on the cob.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean he's gonna be a good one. I think. I really do. I think he's gonna be a legit starter in this league, and I think you're to see him hopefully grow in the little bit of time he has left before he physically peaks out there.
Physically or literally?
Yeah. I mean, just like I said, he needs to both. He needs to get, even if he gains like 10 pounds on, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so. Because he's a fast guy. So,
alrighty, number 9. Oh, we didn't say this round for him yet. Actually, I'm sorry. Second round, I have him at.
Yeah, I can see him even falling because of the size to like very early third round, but I would say like mid to late second round.
Yeah. Alrighty. On to number 9. Felix Anyodike Uzuma. And I'm telling you, I cannot tell you how much tape I watched this kid, and every time somebody to say his name, they slow down so much, like I just did, to make sure they're pronouncing it right. It's Anyodike Uzuma out of Kansas State. They just call him King Felix. That's his nickname, kind of like the old pitcher for the Mariners back in the day. 6'3", 255 pounds, very speedy, very athletic, probably the best first step of this entire draft. You see that ball snap, and he's got a step on whoever basically is going to try to block him because he's just so quick at that. Just a great skill to have. Good bend, strong, but he's bad against the run. My notes here I have Yannick like. It's ironic because I wasn't even thinking that when I mentioned Yannick Ngakoue before. He just doesn't play the run well. It's just not his strength. So he's going to be a start in this league. But you better pair him on that side with somebody at the end position that is very good against the run. Because if they get past him, you're going to have some trouble. Can it be coached out? Time will tell, obviously. But yeah, he was impressive as a pass rusher. And if you can get to the quarterback, you will always have a job in this league.
Yeah,
no matter 100%. How bad you are against the run, no matter how much of a headache you even are. Again, ask Yannick Ngakoue. He may move around from team to team, but he always finds a team every year.
Yeah, and this kid plays with high intensity all the time, so hopefully he'll be coached out.
Yeah, like I said, he's gonna be fun to watch because I think he's gonna give some QB some fits. I really do. He's one of the better pure rushers that you're gonna find in this draft class. So I got him also as a second round kind of guy. But I do think he's gonna be a legit starter in this league for years.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely.
All righty. Number 8.
My favorite guy in the draft. Adetomiwa Adebari.
Adetomiwa Adebari. You were very close. I give you credit.
McDonald's.
I give you. You impressed me there. You impressed me, good sir.
But my man's a Northwestern.
Oh, yes. Chicago,
6'2", 282 pounds.
This is a big boy.
Big boy.
This man hits the buffet.
But he still ran a 4.49 in his 40.
It's impressive, right?
Maybe that was his way on into the buffet line.
I say maybe they had like a stack of ribs at the end of it.
Listen, I don't blame the guy. I could run about that time for some ribs. I love my ribs. Yeah, he's versatile. Dude has he's great against the run, which is great, but his technique has also been inconsistent. He has trouble with bigger blockers,
which is weird because he's big.
Yeah,
you would think a big guy would be, he'd be the guy who like I can just shed this guy who's trying to this 300-pound guy that's trying to block me because I'm 300 pounds myself practically. But no, he definitely has some issues with some of the bigger guys. It definitely showed up on tape there. And I wonder, and I don't know his history as far as his size through the years, but I wonder, did he maybe grow into this body in the last couple of years because he's not 40 years old like half the rookies in this draft class? And, maybe just hasn't gotten a chance to learn to use that kind of size and that strength and that weight yet, because that does happen.
Yeah,
people that think that doesn't happen, I can tell you point blank as somebody who shot up like a weed in my early 20s, that's what happens. You don't even recognize, you don't see yourself as that bigger person, so very plausible.
It is. I mean, because it's, if you look at him through most of his tape when he's not getting bullied, he was he had great leverage when he was using his hip strength and like moving around, getting underneath guys. But once he got to these guys like his size, he just didn't translate it the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, he's going to be some work. I think that's for sure, because of the inconsistent technique, the issues with developing it based on his size and stuff like that. But I think he's going to be a second round pick, and I do think he'll be a star in this league. So guys, prepare to learn the name.
Yeah. He missed his fair share of tackles, and if he didn't, he could be a first rounder, early second rounder. But
it's hard to teach someone to be 282 pounds and run a 4.49.
Yeah, that's like
not easy.
No, so there's a coach out there that'll say, "I can fix this guy."
Yeah. Yep.
And that will happen.
All right. Number 7, probably the most underrated player in this edge class here. Derek Hall out of Auburn. 6'3", 254 pounds. So perfect size for an edge rush position. He's got a speed and strength combo. He's got them both. He's strong as heck. He's got the speed. He can do the speed and strength moves. So we talked about a lot of the guys that are fast guys, strong guys. This is the hybrid. This is the guy who does both. Doesn't do both of them as well as some of the guys do the one, but he does both, but you don't know which way he's coming at you. He's going to bull rush you sometimes. He's going to spin move you other times. He's good at setting the edge, good against the run, plays the run like you wouldn't believe, because he has no problem playing it. He understands the importance of it. He's a great open field tackler. He's got a very high football IQ. He does need to work a little bit here on getting his pads a little lower when he first goes to attack, and he needs to develop some more rush moves overall, which is a very common thing in college, because when you play this position in college, sometimes you just get away with 1 or 2 moves, and those moves work. So like, I'm good.
Yeah.
In the NFL, it's not as simple. Like, you have to develop multiple moves. You have to develop a plan of attack before each play. So I think he'll get that no problem. He's going to be a second round pick to me, and I think he's going to end up being a steal for somebody. I really do.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this guy has quality burst in his pursuit, like pound for pound, his strength. The challenge to some of these bigger guys is bits apart. Like, he takes his speed and strength and mixes them together for some great blocks. He's also got a tremendous character. This guy's team captain. He goes out and he's good with all his teammates. Like, he's got character. So
what you're saying is, if Kevin Costner called up the team, they'd find out that everybody went to his birthday party.
100%.
Watch the Draft Day movie. I haven't watched that movie in forever.
I don't think I've ever seen it, but you're the one that told me about that. We were podcasting a few months back, and I was like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
That's really what happened too. He's like, I'm not going to draft this kid because nobody went to his birthday party.
Yeah. That's a crap.
Like, what the hell? Oh my God. Starring Kevin Costner as Dave Gettleman.
Oh, jeez.
That's the Gettleman move, I can tell you. Listen, no one showed up at his birthday party. I couldn't draft the kid. No one showed up. There was no streamers. People had the thing coming out of their mouth, and it was just sitting on the table here. I had to park my car by the harbor to go to the party myself here. Okay. Number 6.
BJ Ojulari.
Yes. Now, before you mention BJ's, we should also mention again that we are sponsored by Manscaped.com. Before BJ's, Manscaped's very important. So anyway.
Remember the flashlight and the lawnmower 4.0. Get all the nick and crannies.
What is it? A Thomas's English muffin over here?
Well, if that's the case, you're in some trouble. LSU guy, 6'2", 240.
I'm trying to figure out why I'm in trouble if it's like an English muffin.
It is not big, but it's girthy as hell.
Oh, okay.
And it looks ugly. Obviously, let's get the elephant out of the room here. Yeah. Ojulari might sound a little familiar because we may have drafted.
Very familiar.
We may have drafted his brother just quite recently. Ojulari, BJ Ojolari. Great punch, quick, internal burst, great range.
Internal burst? That sounds like a medical.
Oh, no, say he's got gas. No.
Did you mean an initial burst? Not an internal burst.
Yeah, internal burst.
He lost his
initial burst
during a game.
All this BJ talk.
Oh my god, it's bursting, BJ. Oh my god, we're like 5-year-olds. It's great.
Fantastic. Yeah, his first steps.
Goofballs, god damn it.
Yeah. Ojolari needs to work on some of his strength. He was not the best at center of the edge a lot of times.
Yeah. So, his run defense and edge setting overall definitely left something to be desired. But I'm telling you, like, he's Aziz's brother. And I mean that in a positive way. Like, a lot of what I saw on Aziz a couple of years ago when I was watching his tape is what I see in BJ.
Yeah, he
good pass rusher, quick guy, lighter edge guy, has trouble against the run. Like, this is 100% Aziz.
Yeah. Like, he's great. Get him to the side and get into the quarterback.
And for people that may have forgotten, Aziz was going to be a mid-first round pick initially. And he kind of dropped because of some concerns they had with his injuries, or injury potential, I should say. Not even injuries, injury potential because of an injury he had back in high school. Obviously it's hard to say how the jury's still out on that one because he did get injured all of last year, but it wasn't for that concern. It was totally different issues. So, and I still think he just bulked up too much. So, I mean, I think BJ is going to be a good player in this league. I think he's going to be, I wouldn't say he's going to be a Batman in the league as we talk about the Batman or Robin mentality, so to speak, of the edge rushers. But I think he's going to be a damn good Robin for somebody.
Yeah, I think so. And I think he's got the great personality to be a great teammate. And then, I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be a pro for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
If you say he's injury free.
Yes. All right. So, I would say probably late round 1, early round 2 for him. I guess you get one.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Number 5. Myles Murphy. Not to be confused with Detective Murphy from RoboCop. Myles Murphy at a Clemson. 6'5", 268 pounds. So, sign me up for that kind of size for an edge rusher. That's perfect right there. He missed both the combine and the Clemson Pro Day due to a hamstring. So he had to do his own private Pro Day. So the thing is, he did do the private Pro Day. So he's not Kadarius Toney. He didn't find more hamstrings hiding. He eventually was able to do it. Strong hands, strong just overall because he's got a good size to him. Keeps the legs moving. Almost, we talk about that a lot with running backs. People forget that's not just a running back thing. That's like a football thing in general. If that whistle has not been blown, your legs should be moving. You should not be standing still. He does that. Good bend. He definitely beat up on the weaker competition. Like, you can see a big difference between what he was able to do against some of the weaker opponents compared to some of the better opponents. Because obviously, Clemson's got a weird schedule. Like, they play some good teams. They play some real scrubs. He's not great also at setting the edge. He's also not the best necessarily in gap coverage, and that's all boils down to the run defense. So, personally, my own opinion on him, just from watching the tape here, boom or bust kind of guy. And what I think is going on basically is he's getting hyped up because he knows he's playing a weaker opponent, and he cares much more about the pass because he knows that's what tends to get people paid in the NFL. Let's call it what it is. So I think he needs coaching. I think he needs maturing. And I think that's what I'm seeing a lot of personally. But he's going to be another guy who's a late round 1, early round 2 kind of guy. He's got I'll just compare him to BJ for a second. We just talked about BJ Ojolari. He's got a higher ceiling than BJ. He's got a lower floor.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
So do you want to take the risky pick? Do you want to take the more, more proven commodity pick, so to speak? That's where the question is going to be. And there's a science to both of them that says, yes, that's the right move, and yes, no, that's the right move. Both of them make sense. It's a risk either way. Because if you draft a guy like BJ and Murphy was there, and then he becomes a Batman, then you're like, oh, God damn, I could have Batman. I drafted Robin.
Yeah.
If he's out of the league in a couple of years and BJ is a good second edge rusher for somebody, you're gonna be like, oh god damn it, I could have had this. This is an important piece to a defense. This is a guy I wish I had right now. So, like I said, that's the crapshoot of the NFL draft, guys. You just never know.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, there's going to be some coaching to bring that ceiling there. Like you said, the legs are always moving, but sometimes if you look, he takes very long strides to try to beat tackles, and it works for him. Sometimes against better talents, when he's trying to do that, that's also his downfall. So he has like too much of a leggy movements, and it slows down his momentum trying to get through that line.
Yeah.
But yeah, because of that high ceiling, he'll probably go early first round, maybe to the second.
I think late first, early second. I think that's where you're gonna see him basically. All righty. Number 4, which is probably one of the most interesting people in this entire group, because I've actually heard the Giants and rumors of him. So go for it, Rob.
All right. We're talking about Nolan Smith from Georgia.
Which, first off, that's never trust. They say never trust somebody with 2 first names. He's got 2 last names. I don't know if that means we trust him more.
Oh, maybe he's double trustworthy.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe that's. I don't know the rules on this. So
maybe that's the move.
We have to look this up. I don't know what the rules are on this.
Just going good old Googles. Can I trust a guy with 2 last names?
Let's see. Let's chat GPT.
But yeah, this guy's 6'3", smaller guy at 235 pounds, but he also ran a 4.39 in the 40-yard. So he was a combine beast. He could drop back in the coverage. He relies on speed too much at times. He has trouble getting off blocks against the run. Yeah, this guy has a lot of talent, but this is also another guy that has like a high ceiling, possibly like a semi-low floor.
See, I'm going to disagree with you on that one. I think to me, we talk about the Batman Robin thing. His floor is Robin, his ceiling is Batman. I think he's going to be a legit force in this league. I think he's just. You got to keep in mind also Georgia's defense. So every single year, Georgia gets these guys who go into the draft from the edge position. They don't produce in college. They show up on tape. They show up at the combine, but they don't necessarily produce sack numbers and such. And then they go into the NFL, like Azeez Ojulari, and they show up.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I saw on tape that kind of like stood out to me a little bit, which I do like it, and not to knock it, is maybe it's something coaching can work at, but he tends to sometimes not be able to. He's got great speed, he's got great power. Sometimes he doesn't know how to utilize both of them or convert from one to the other, and he relies all on one and not the other, and vice versa. So sometimes he's just trying to be a speedy guy, and he gets beat strength. With someone else that's stronger.
I think he has to, though. He's so 235 pounds. He doesn't have the strength to do.
He's a strong guy, though. He's got power.
Not enough power to beat a guy who's 315 pounds at a tackle.
I hear what you're saying.
He's got to win with the strength, with the speed,
technique, speed, and power.
Yeah,
will help you beat the strong guys.
Yeah, but I honestly, I don't like giving pro comps with draft guys, but I even put on my notes Bruce Irvin. That's what I see with this guy, Bruce Irvin. Same kind of guy, speed guy, doesn't have the strength necessarily to do the bull rush moves. Lower on the weight, has a little bit of issues against the run, that kind of guy. And if you can get a guy towards the end of the first round, which is where I think he's going to going, even though he's probably a little better than that, to be honest, probably more like a mid-first round guy, but I think he's going to go more towards the end of the first round. This is a guy that if you can get, 7-8 sacks out of a guy that you get at the tail end of the first round, that's a good get. Yeah. That's a good get. But there's been a lot of rumors. Like we got asked today on Facebook by someone, if there was, I think it was Deontay Banks that were talking about the corner. They were on our clip we had of our show the other night on that, and they said if we had the chance between Smith and Banks, which one would you take? So I came back with, do we mean Nolan Smith or Cam Smith? Because I wasn't sure which one they meant. Somebody Smiths. They're like, Nolan. And I'm like, honestly, I probably would take Nolan Smith because I can get myself a corner later on in the draft because this is such a corner-driven draft. You can't get a talent like Nolan Smith later in the draft. You're not going to get it. And, you got one more year with Jihad Ward because he's on a one-year deal. He's on a one-year deal perpetually. Basically, he goes wherever Wink goes. You got Azeez Ojulari, who couldn't stay healthy last year. And now he's going to year 3 of a 4-year deal. And keep in mind, it was a second-round pick. So is it the worst thing in the world to have a guy like Nolan Smith who can go ahead and rush the passer, develop and learn better as a run blocker and stuff like that while he's coming off as a third pass rusher? And then you pop him in on plays, but it's an obvious passing down and be another weapon at that point to go against the quarterbacks. Because I'm telling you right now, guys, we have to beat our division rivals. And what I mean by that is we need to get strong at the line. And that's both the offensive and defensive line, because that's why we're getting wrecked. Because the Cowboys and the Eagles specifically, who we went 0-5 against this year, they have great offensive lines. They have great defensive lines. And if you can't get to the quarterback and you can't protect your quarterback, you're in trouble. So having another weapon that can get to their quarterback, go after their $51 million guy there, Jalen Hurts, it's a good get. So I'll get off my soapbox, but I want to make sure you guys are kind of we're in that thought process of where at least I'm from. I mean, Rob, feel free to share your thoughts on that. But like I said, to me, it makes sense. If you got a chance to get a stud, it's got to be a stud, though. It can't be maybe a 1, maybe a 2 kind of guy. It's got to be one of these top 4 guys. And I think the only one that we have a shot of getting that late in the draft, unless we trade up, is going to be Nolan Smith. As Ken pops in. What's up, guys? What's up, Ken?
What's up, Ken?
So, like I said, let me know what your thoughts are, Rob. I don't want to speak for you per se on that, but like I said, I think that.
No, I mean, we definitely do talent. And I wasn't trying to say like the guy's like going to be a bust when I said. No.
I'm not taking this out. I'm just saying I think that's a pretty high ceiling. Yeah, high floor. I mean. Yeah.
So you're 100% right. We need to beef up our offensive line. We need to beef up our defensive line because that's your fundamental. That's the structure to your house. The frame into your house, you can build off that. Because if you're constantly pressuring the quarterback on the defense side, guess what? Quarterback's more likely to make mistakes. So you're going to have an average corner look better when quarterbacks making mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
If you're giving that quarterback all day long to throw the ball, you're great. The top-ranked cornerback is going to have to put in a lot of work in the NFL. And it's not fair to them to put on there.
Yep.
And vice versa. You need a strong offensive line to stop that defense from coming at your quarterback to give him time to make that plays.
Yeah. I mean, you win. Football is much like World War One. You win in the trenches. You win in the trenches, guys. That's how the game is played. Alrighty. Number 3, Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa. Not to be confused with Iowa State, the second Iowa college I got in this. 6'5", 264 pounds. Strong and wins with that strength. This is that bull rusher guy. This is the guy that's going to take the offensive lineman, toss him to the side, and go right for the quarterback. High motor, good flexibility. Needs to develop the more pass rush moves. And I think especially the speed kind of stuff there, because the problem's going to run into, you can bull rush in college all day long. And you can bull rush sometimes in the NFL. But if you're a pure bull rush guy, it's not going to work as well in the NFL because everybody there is big and everybody there is strong on the offensive line. Not the edge rushers. We discussed some of the really tiny ones here today. They're like safety size. But, I mean, offensive linemen are still 300 pounds plus. They're still big boys. I think part of what that is, though, is just because so he actually never played football until high school. He wasn't the guy, the Pop Warner guy. He was a former hockey player. And I think that's what he's doing. He's just checking the guy still. Just still doing.
I mean, let's be real.
Happy Gilmore on the football field here.
And let's be real. Hockey players are some tough players out there.
Damn
what
straight.
other sport besides fighting sports do you get into fights?
They sacrifice their teeth.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he was also nicknamed Hercules, even though with his build and size, and that name, he's probably more like Thor. Dude's a leftover Viking, but that's it. Like, he needs to work on his speed, a little bit more technique, but he is a brick poop house, if you will.
He's a brick
house.
Here's my dad.
But he's super powerful legs, super powerful hips,
super powerful.
But I mean, he needs better use of his hands because he's not holding a stick anymore, so it's a little different.
Yes. And remember now, when you do hold the stick, you want to go ahead and scape it, or you want to manscape.
Yeah.
We find all the weird ways to punch in manscape there. I think, honestly, this is a guy we have no shot in hell with. I think he's going to be a top 20 pick. I mean, you never know. Anybody, like I said before, anything can happen. We talked about, Geno Smith a couple of years ago. You see people drop quite often. It's not unheard of. But if all goes as scheduled and planned, we don't have a shot at getting this guy.
It's very, very, very doubtful.
As Ken asked, you guys having a live draft show next Thursday night? Yes, we are, Ken. We're going to have a Thursday night. We're going to have a Friday night. We're going to be on for all the first 3 rounds of picks. And we're also going to do a recap show for everybody on Saturday night as well. So we'll definitely be on. And we will be talking to your Bears at one point, Ken. So, because the Bears do pick. And I think they're going to pick a certain person from Georgia. I'm going to say that, but I'm not going to say who. He said, "Let's go, Bratz." Was that supposed to be Bears? Because I put it up because I'm like, he didn't say Bears this time. There you go. He fixed it now. I'm not putting Bears up on the screen, though. All righty. On to number 2.
Numero dos. Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech. Another big guy, 6'6", 275 pounds. Like I said, great size. He is a dominant physical player. Versatile. But just like we just said, he lacks some speed.
Yep.
It's kind of hard to be a speedy guy when you're running around
75 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's also got a wingspan like a pterodactyl. So he's great at getting in there. He runs plays. He's hard backside, like he just all over the side of the field. But
you say he's got a hard backside?
Yes. Backside crash. I went ahead of my notes here. You just think about Manscaped. Ken, whenever you bring your flashlight for the Bears picks, all right? That being said, he's a strong guy. He's a powerful guy, but he also lacks explosiveness.
Explosiveness. He's got to be explicit.
Explosiveness.
Must be explicit.
Yes, he's very explicit. I can't talk about that.
It's all right. I'm having fun with it, so you can go.
Yes. Yeah, he's inconsistent and could be too high, not entirely high, but like too high in a.
As Ken says, laughing face, and then wow.
I'm sorry, I was up at 3:00 this morning, guys. I'm tired.
And a great backside, he said.
So beautiful.
Yes, he works a lot with the assistant head coach.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is just he lacks speed, and his pad level's inconsistent and too high sometimes. But the thing is, it's not always. So he knows what the right move is to do. He just doesn't always do the right move. So I think that's coachable. The lack of speed is the bigger concern for me. I'm kind of, keep in mind, we're talking edge rushers. These guys could be 4-3 in defensive end. These guys could be 3-4 edge rushers in the end. They all, what used to be the outside linebackers back in the day. As we got Harry, the Greek, checking in. Harry.
What's up, Harry?
Harry. Listen, we got to send Harry the Greek the link there. So let's see if we can get Harry the Greek to come on. We got to see if we can get Harry the Greek to come on. Send you the link, Harry. But yeah, I mean, he's going to be a guy that I think you're going to see necessarily as potentially a more of a 4-3 kind of defensive end than a 3-4 edge guy. But there's guys that really are big fans of his. There are guys who will sit there and tell you point blank that he may be just as good as number one that we're going to talk about. Now, I think that they're crazy if they think that. I really do. That's just insane to me. But there are the people out there that think that. Oh, as Harry says, next show, or Amos, as he misspells promise. I got to mock you on that, Harry, because I just do.
It's all right. I've been mispronouncing things all night.
Ken says, "What's up, Malak?" But yeah, like I said, if there's guys who really like him that much, they think he's just up there with, if not even potentially a little higher. But I do not think that he's in that kind of class. I really don't. I think that there's a big difference between number one and number two. That's not to say he's crud. I just think number one's going to be a generational talent. But I do think Tyree's probably going to go to like top 15. He's going to go to somebody who, really needs a good defensive end on a 4-3 system at that point to go ahead and be their star pass rusher, someone who can bull rush, which is easier to do from that 4-3 than that 3-4. So, yeah, like I said, he's going to be a good player in this league for years to come, I think.
Yeah, hands down.
All righty. Number one, Will Anderson Jr. from Alabama. Roll Tide. 6'4", 243 pounds. Yeah, this is a true 3-4 edge rusher here. He very well may and should be the first non-QB taken off the board. Great against the run, sheds blocks, high IQ, speed pass rusher kind of guy. Already has stunts and twists. The size is the only thing that's a little bit concerning. He misses some tackles from it. He occasionally has some issues with, getting beat in the open field like that. But this is a guy who's already got the moves that you expect the NFL player to have. And to be very frank, he looks bored sometimes. Like, you've seen a couple moves he makes, he only makes them occasionally. It's because we talked about it before. He doesn't have to. He's playing against the guys that aren't in the same class as him. It's almost like he's like that baseball player that goes down to the minors to play a couple games before they go up to the majors. Except he's been doing it for a few years now. Yeah, he'd have been a first-round pick last year.
Yeah, this guy is just explosive from every which way. Explosive hips, explosive backside.
Just explicit.
Just explicit.
Explicit content on his rap album. No.
But he's like one of those guys, like, you talk about Batman and Robin before, like, this is Superman over here coming out of this draft.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's a strong power from every which way.
But yeah, he's, like I said, top 10 pick all day long. Best non-QB in this draft. If you do not need a quarterback and you don't take him, it's a mistake. Shame on you. If he is this good, the Texans are rumored to be looking at him instead of a quarterback.
Wow.
That's how good he is. Like, who is their quarterback?
Oh, Mill's the answer.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, this is like, and don't get me wrong. This is just par for the course for Houston. What's going on there? You got like a party going on there?
Dog's going crazy right now.
The dog's going crazy.
Past his bedtime.
This is the same team that went after Mario Williams instead of taking the supposedly can't miss Reggie Bush back in the day, and everybody was all shocked. Now, don't get me wrong. They made the right move then. They made the right move. But, I mean, right now we got Davis Mills and Case Keenum as your quarterbacks. If the Texans don't take a quarterback at number 2 overall, then they must really not like whoever was available this year.
Yeah.
Like, that's a conscious decision to skip a position of need.
A high position of need, not just...
Yeah. Like, Davis the Neck Mills is not the answer. Case Keenum is also not the answer. So, yeah, I think it's all BS. I think they'll take a quarterback in the end, and that means that Will Anderson either goes to the Cardinals or the Cardinals do the smart thing, trade down because their team is basically a dumpster fire, and they'll go ahead and get a bunch of picks, and then he'll probably still go, top 5, top 6. That basically, again, the first person who doesn't take a quarterback is going to take him, or they are stupid and need their head examined. Point blank. That's how good he's going to be. He probably will make it past number 5 when the Seahawks go.
Yeah.
That's probably the right spot for him. I'll tell you this, though. If he drops to the Lions and they get to take him at 6 and get to match him with Aiden Hutchinson, whoa, watch out NFC North. Watch out NFC North. Because Aiden Hutchinson was a freaking beast his rookie year. For a rookie edge rusher, and you start bunching those two together, yeah, good luck with that. That's gonna be a freaking woo. That's gonna be fun. So yeah, like I said, that is our rankings there for the edge group there. Keep in mind, guys, that we have much more to bring forward to you guys here. So our next episode is going to be this Wednesday at 9. We're going to go over the linebackers. We're going to go over the safeties as well for you guys. We're going to be a 2-for-1 kind of quick rapid session here so we can get some more groups in for you guys. Because we're getting close to draft time, guys. We are getting close.
Around the corner.
But again, these are 2 other positions that we need depth pieces at. We probably have our starters already set. Let's be honest. We're not going to draft one of those positions probably in the first couple of rounds. But when you got 10 picks in the draft and you have obvious needs of depth at that point, you're going to see that. You're going to see this be a position that we're going to take probably a safety. We're going to probably take at least a linebacker. Whether it be a late round guy like a bumper pull we've talked about before that the special teams could develop. We've talked about him before. Or it could be even if somebody drops to us like a Drew Sanders all of a sudden in the second round with something surprises, listen, you never know. It's the draft. Yeah. Love it. That's what I love about it. Everybody's like, oh, that guy won't be available to us. You have no goddamn clue.
It's random.
Yeah. There are probably like 10 to 15 players that we have not a shot in hell of getting. That's it. Other than that, it's all fair game. Because you have no clue. You have no clue what's going to happen. So, like I said, you got to love it. So, like I said, we'll be live for you guys again next Wednesday there with the linebackers and safeties. Remember, guys, as well, like I said, we have our sponsorship here now with Manscaped. Again, 20% off your order plus free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the promo code GOOFBALLS to get that. Because if you don't get it, and you don't use that, you were a true goofball because you paid extra and you had to pay for shipping on top of that. So don't be that kind of goofball. Be the fun goofball with shape balls, okay? So, again, Lawnmower 4.0, we recommend it, that's for sure. And I'll be frank with you guys. I don't recommend stuff on this show if we don't actually try it and like it. I may say, oh, I'm sorry, do I need to return this if I don't like it? But I don't know if that's even a returnable item, but no, seriously, it's good stuff, and this is the top brand in the men's grooming. And like I said, any ladies listening as well, listen, y'all got areas you shave as well. It's not like it's specifically designed for that. All right. As Connor comes in with already have mine, my balls were like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Listen, your balls will thank you.
Your balls will thank you. Manscaped.com. Again, guys, we also, of course, if you want to sponsor the show yourselves as well, you got buymeacupofcoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Again, buymeacupofcoffee.com/2 Giant Goofballs. And as always, guys, we are, of course, live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and my LinkedIn page. We're also, of course, on audio versions on pretty much every podcast known to man. Obviously, the big ones being Apple Podcasts and Spotify, but we have like 30 different podcast things we're on as well, guys. So whichever versions you like, hit the subscribe. The best versions, if you prefer video, I would say, or Facebook or YouTube, because then you see the comments we're posting up. This is the way we see your comments. Post them onto Facebook, post them on to YouTube, and then, like I said, we'll see it live on the show, like Connor, who says, G-Men, go hairless, LOL.
They're more aerodynamic.
More aerodynamic, exactly. But like I said, guys, we do appreciate you guys listening. It's a little bit nice, a little long show here because we had a lot of different edge rushers to go through. We had to go through, of course, the contract with Jalen Hurts as well, and some of the bigger news out there. So appreciate you guys sticking by with us and listening in. If you didn't listen to the whole thing or get a chance to watch the whole thing, you can watch live afterwards and get caught up the rest of the way there. Of course, we already had our draft discussion with the wide receivers and the cornerbacks as well. If you want to backtrack and watch that, like I said, we got linebackers and safeties up next for you guys Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. We always do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Next week, guys, we're going to be live Monday through Saturday. So times may be a little different, though. So the best way to find out, like the page on Facebook, hit the bell on YouTube. When we go live, you're going to find out. And again, we will be live, of course, for you guys on Thursday and Friday, the first 3 rounds of the draft, and we'll do a reaction show on Saturday then for you guys. So again, appreciate you guys taking the time to listen in. We know you got plenty of options to go ahead and listen to your draft and your Giants news there. So we appreciate you guys picking these goofballs here to be the guys to get your news from. As always, Giant fans,
go G-Man!
Go G-Man! Go G-Man! G-Man! G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right? Right? Right?